Hello, my love, and welcome to Module 5 on Healing with Sound and Voice. I'm particularly excited about this module because it kind of marks, right, the end, the conclusion of this journey that we have been embarking on for the length of 13 weeks. So today, I'm going to be bringing together all the concepts, all the things that we have been already learning about on how to use sound and voice as a healing modality. And I'm going to be giving you a framework so you can implement this healing tool for yourself or also to share with others. Now, before I dive deep into the slides that I have prepared for you today, just wanted to acknowledge as well, like where I am and how fun it is that I am recording this module today, as this week I have been going through a big initiation in my life that almost had me losing my voice. So it's so funny. It's so funny that I am here like sharing these frameworks and this information and this wisdom with all of you, because literally this is just a reminder for all of you. Like literally the medicine that we are sharing with others continues to be always your own medicine, because it is the medicine that you're here to bring for a reason. So for me, voice, I always say that it is my medicine first. And because of all the like inner work and personal work that I have to do on speaking my desires, speaking my boundaries, speaking my needs, expressing myself authentically, it is because I'm constantly going into the next edge of expression, of embodiment without using my voice, that I am able to embody this work and that I am able to share all this knowledge with all of you, because this is literally the alchemy that I have been going through in my life to come to this place where I am actually and finally sharing my gifts that, of course, haven't come, all of them, very easily, but that, I fully embrace all the initiations and all the alchemies that I've been having to go through in order to fully walk my talk. And I just wanted to, take the time to acknowledge this, because we are humans and we don't have to be fully healed in order to share our medicine with the world. So may my expression today and my honesty and my courage as well to still show up, even if I'm showing up with my flaws, not being perfect, may this be as well, sorry, your permission slip to continue offering your medicine wherever you are, as long as it's coming from your heart and it's coming with the purest intention to be at service of humanity. It's gonna impact positively the lives of many people. So I wanted to start there because it feels right and in alignment for me as well to share with all of you, right? Like the funny story behind me right now sharing this module with all of you, which almost marks the end of this journey. So let's do this, my love. I have some slides ready for you, as I mentioned, and I'm very excited to see how this land and how this also allows you to just have this space to realize how much you have learned, how much you have walked this path of awakening to your voice, how much courage that you have gathered, how much bravery in the way that you have been leaning into all the practices and showing up with vulnerability, with all of who you are, with all of it. It's been so precious and so beautiful to witness all of you going through this journey. And I am super honored to share this final module with you. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen, and then we're gonna get started with module 5. So today's module is gonna be on healing with voice and sound. So just to recap a little bit where we're coming from, right? Inside module 4, which was on the metaphysics of voice, we dive deep into understanding how the universe operates through the lens of vibration and frequency. So we open up to this perception of reality so that we could awaken to a new way of looking at the world and how to become the conscious creators of our own desired experience, which at the end of the day, we know that it comes to us choosing at every now moment at which frequency we want to vibrate at, right? This is what sets the tone for what experiences we're going to be a match for. This is what's going to be preparing the quantum field as well to attract what's meant for us at every now moment. So if we choose at every now moment to lean into the tools, into the mindset, into doing the inner work to overcome the limiting beliefs about yourself, your expression, and what's possible for you, if you choose to do that at every now moment, you will be a magnet for these higher frequency experiences, relationships, clients, opportunities that are going to come into you naturally, because this is how the universe operates on this principle of resonance, as we are going to be talking a little bit about today. So we also saw inside the Metaphysics of Voice module that voice is this manifestation portal, and that we know that it's all about attuning to this higher frequency and creating resonance between our body and the body of the vision that we desire to call in, that we desire to manifest into our lives. So that is what we call the law of sympathetic resonance. And we know already that ancient civilizations and traditions have used sound to manifest realities since the beginning of times, to bring their visions into the physical world, and also to manifest healing, to bring about more peace, more love, more consciousness, more light to the whole of the population. This has been happening already, using voice as a portal for healing since the ancient times. So once again, just reminding ourselves that what we are doing here is remembering the ancestral ways. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We are remembering what has always been. And we also saw and talked about this manifestation formula that ancient traditions and civilizations have used for millennia. And this formula was sound plus visualization equals manifestation. And we talked about how they use the power of visualization with your mind's eye and the power of vocalization through the voice, through chanting, through singing mantras, this ability to bring an energetic body into the physical body. So you could connect with a desired reality, or that you could connect with a deity or a god or a goddess, or like whatever scenario that you're calling in, right? So it's all about using this very simple yet powerful formula for manifestation, blending sound, visualization, which equal manifestation. We also talked a lot about how we could heal with frequencies, with sound, with music, the impact that it has in our physical bodies, energetic bodies, at a subconscious level, right? Like now we know that we can work with the frequencies and vibrations to restore the balance in our physical, mental, emotional, and subconscious bodies. So today, we already talked about that, but today we are going to be diving deeper into how we can heal with voice and sound, so that you can also use consciously your voice for healing purposes too. So I love this idea, right? And as I was saying earlier, what we're doing here is remembering the ancient ways. So literally, healing with sound and frequencies and vibrations is what a lot of scientists have already called the medicine of the future. And medium and psychic Edgar Calle talked about how sound would become the medicine of the future already. So there's a lot of scientists and a lot of people doing a lot of studies around how we can use vibrations and frequencies to actually heal the physical body. And we're seeing that becoming a reality already. We're seeing so many like flourishing of healing practices with like singing bowls, sound healing, a lot of vocal healing. It is beautiful to be in this moment in time in humanity where all this ancient knowledge and wisdom is just resurfacing, and we are all remembering the ancestral power that frequencies and vibrations hold by nature. But of course, despite sound being such an ancient tool for healing, for a very long time in history, this knowledge had been restricted to certain esoteric and spiritual traditions, as we saw. Things, of course, has now rapidly changed, and we see this spread of this new wave on using sound to heal across the world, and that is such a beautiful thing to witness. So when we talk about how to heal with voice or sound, it's super important that we remember this concept of resonance that we already covered. So the fundamental principle behind sound healing resides in the concept of resonance. Resonance is the vibratory rhythm of an object. As we have seen, all the universe is in a state of vibration, including, of course, the human body. So that means that literally every single organ, tissue, bone, every single part of your body has an innate, natural resonant frequency. And what happens is that when this frequency is altered, that particular part of the body starts vibrating in this harmony. And this is what brings, ultimately, this is. That is what we call illness. It's just something that has broken the natural resonance, the natural frequency of that part of the body. So following this logic, if we could determine what is the natural harmonious frequency of a healthy organ, we could potentially project that frequency to the affected body part so that the organ could restore its natural resonance, producing ultimate healing. So now I'm going to be talking briefly about some of the ways in which a lot of scientists and healers have already been exploring how to heal through sounds and vibrations and frequencies. So the first one that I wanted to bring in here is cymotherapy. So we already covered what the science of cymatics were. And the science of cymatics is this study of the extraordinary ability that sound has to affect matter. So there was this osteopath from England, from the UK, called Peter Guy Manners, who became a pioneer at using the science of cymatics to heal and restore the harmony in his patients' bodies. Just as a reminder, this is what some of the patterns could look like specific sound frequencies. For example, the first one at the top left corner, 345 hertz, we see that it creates a particular frequency. But then when we go into the 4444 hertz, there is a completely different pattern that emerges, and so on. So we see sound altering the matter, creating an effect on the flesh, right? So following the same logic, we could potentially do the same with the human body, right? And this is what cymotherapy explores. So just to give a little bit more of explanation on how this works. So a healthy organ has cells which work in harmony, in collaboration, to maintain a specific pattern. As we saw earlier, there's a frequency that creates a pattern, right? So the cells are always working their way to create harmony, so the pattern can still be perpetuated, right? But what happens is that if there's another sound pattern that comes into the organ, that harmonious relationship that the cells are creating could be altered. So when the frequency of a pattern is weak, so let's say that the natural frequency of an organ is weak because of XYZ, maybe because you have been having a lot of subconscious fears coming up, you have been having maybe not very good healthy habits lately, or you're not taking care of your body like you're used to, for whatever reason, maybe there's a part of your body that is just resonating at a weaker frequency than usual. So what that happens is that then when there's this other pattern that comes in, what ends up happening is that the original pattern is defeated by stronger frequencies that come from the outside, or that come from these thoughts, or that come from these subconscious beliefs. However that happens, ultimately is the stronger frequency is the one that prevails at a cellular level, right? It's just this example of if you go into a disco, like a club, and there's like two different rooms with two different types of music. If there's a room where the music is blasting and the frequency is just stronger, what's going to be happening if you're in the other room where there's like maybe a musician playing acoustic guitar? What's going to be happening is that the boom, 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 the beat, the bass of the other room will eventually take over, and people are not going to be able to even like perceive the acoustics of that guitarist that is playing on the other room. And that is because the frequency of the other room is stronger. So now imagine what happens at the cellular level when the cells are not vibrating in harmony and at a very strong vibratory field. What happens is that there could be these other frequencies invading that space and altering this natural frequency of the organ. And that what can happen, so the invaders could end up being the ones that take over and potentially creating these harmonious sound patterns, which ultimately would create disease in the body. So here is what SiMA is used for. So there's this particular machine that is able to project these sound frequencies into the human body, into particular parts of the body, emanating a particular frequency that is going to have this resonance, this sympathetic resonance with that part of the body. So what that means is that if you're having an issue, for example, with your heart, we are going to be using the machine of the SiMA to actually project a stronger frequency that is just in more alignment with the natural resonance of the heart organ, right? So you can do that through time and you can eventually see the changes. For example, here there's a scan before treating a patient with SiMA and after 20 minutes. So you can see on the before that there's areas where there's a lot of excess of energy, a lot of warmth, if you see it from the temperature. And then after applying these higher frequencies, natural frequencies into the legs, you can see how the temperature lowered and there's like this energy of more ease into this part of the body. So this is what SiMA has to offer, right? You project the strong vibrational frequency in that organ and the vibration of the invasive cells are going to be neutralized naturally, restoring the harmonious frequency of the organ. So this is just an example so you have an idea of what is the potential really when working with sound and frequencies, when we're talking about health and also healing practices. Now, I also wanted to include this example here, which I find personally fascinating. So Barbara Lamdona was an incredible researcher, musician, theorist, philosopher. Totally recommend you to check out her memorial website because I think she passed away 3 or 4 years ago. But she left an incredible legacy on healing with sound and music and harmonics as well, right? So she produced this artifact called the Lamdona keyboard. And this is like based on a matrix. This matrix is a matrix that the philosopher Pythagoras created already 500 years before Christ. So Pythagoras spent over 20 years as an Egyptian initiate and came up with this matrix that basically it's like it breaks down all the mathematical ratios that exist in nature. So once again, we're seeing a pattern here, right? When we were talking about overtone, singing, the harmonics, right? The way in which the voice has this like fundamental, and then it's just divided into different type of frequencies, which is what creates the harmonics, right? Like we are seeing that there's this mathematical ratio in all creation, in all of nature. And here Pythagoras came up with this matrix that represents as well all these different like divisions and scales of the one into the many, or into the many. And you can see this pattern as well, like just replicating just all the mathematical logic that exists in the universe. So the concept of the Lamdona matrix in the present age is relatively unknown, so not a lot of people know about it. And it is not cited in many dictionaries. So thank God that Barbara Landona did an amazing job at doing a lot of research, and she wrote a lot of books and did a lot of incredible experiments to heal with sound and voice, which you can find on the internet. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, it feels like only a matrix of mathematical multiplication and division. It just feels like a division table. But deep down, on a closer look, this matrix bears a one-to-one relationship to music intervals in a very specific harmonic series. So again, we're talking about this language of the universe, the language of mathematics, the language of music. It is all interconnected, it is all related, it is all a mirror to the other. Because of its numerical framework of ratios, it can be translated into frequencies of audible sound. The Landona bears relationships to aromatics, chemistry, crystallography, cybernetics, art, music, geometry, all of which may be explored by those interested in the above disciplines. So literally, this is a mathematical sort of like matrix that can actually be applied in all the things in the universe that are also measured by frequencies, and everything is in vibration. Therefore, everything can be measured in frequencies. Therefore, everything in the universe also has a music because it is vibrating at a particular frequency. So literally, this matrix is just a testament of how everything is interconnected in this reality. So what she did, Barbara, is creating an audible sound out of each one of these intervals, these numbers that were placed in the matrix. And she started to experimenting with like producing these sounds with patients and observing and witnessing the healing effects of the patient when interacting with this keyboard that would emit specific frequencies, always in harmony with each other, because it is like every single interval, every single harmonic is in perfect mathematical relationship with the other. So there's always this harmonious relationship, right, that creates a natural healing effect into the physical human body, which I find fascinating. So the players of these keyboards have experienced increased physical comfort and spiritual awareness, within which they were able to learn answers to their questions, including their life's purpose, how to become more spiritually aware, overcoming their fears. It's deeply profound. I have been myself for like 20 minutes just listening to like the music that is emanated by someone playing this. Actually, I think that Barbara went into the King's Chamber in the Jesus Pyramid, which we talked about in the Metaphysics of Voice, the importance of that chamber, because it was like a healing resonance chamber that a lot of the people and the initiates use for healing purposes and to connect with higher realms and with consciousness. And she did an experiment there, and it is actually recorded, so you can also listen to that on her website, probably on YouTube as well. And I spent the other day like 20 minutes just listening to it, and there was something so magical and healing about it. Just like hearing the different intervals, the frequencies, like your body can feel that there's an harmony, that there's a harmony between each one of these sounds, that there's a correlation, and that by nature already creates a field of harmony in your own body that has a direct impact, a direct healing effect onto your body and whoever that is exposed to those frequencies. So this matrix is a diamond-shaped keyboard with 64 keys. Again, 64 is a super sacred number that keeps showing up in all like sacred geometry and produces harmonic stereo intervals, with the second tone relating to the player's chosen fundamental, based upon the whole number ratios of the Landona matrix. When accompanied by a PC, the keyboard may be used as a device for sound therapy, musical composition, and performance. And here you have Barbara Landona's website. I totally recommend you to go and check it out because it's truly fascinating. And I really felt excited to share this with you, just so you see as well like what incredible like experiments and studies have been happening on this realm. Even though we may not hear that just yet on the mainstream, there is a lot of people doing a lot of research, and I really hope that in the near future we're going to be seeing a lot more of these so-called alternative therapies becoming more mainstream, which is already happening. So again, of course, in order to heal with sound, we also have acoustic instruments, right? Acoustic instruments are based on this effect of the sound to just get into the body and make your body vibrate using the acoustics, right? Like just the vibration of an instrument creating a vibration that impacts directly the cells in your body with this principle of resonance. So it's very powerful because it is an incredible way to, again, project high frequencies into your body without having to rely on the electronic devices, which is something that, for example, the Lambdona Matrix, the keyboard, uses, or the Sima therapy uses as well. So here we're talking about really going into the essential, going into the sounds that we have been creating for millennia as our ancient civilizations have been doing, right? So in order to heal with these acoustic instruments, you can use Tibetan singing bowls, tuning forks, gongs, crystal bowls, drums, rattles, chimes, and many other instruments that have a powerful impact in the physical and energetic bodies. And each instrument, of course, emanates a specific frequency, a specific tone, a specific timbre. Therefore, you can either like tap into sharing music intuitively and just like setting that intention to for the music to be used as healing, or you can also go into particular notes and work intentionally with that particular frequency that's emanating. So for example, if there's someone that has a lot of headaches, or yourself, you struggle still with a lot of headaches, maybe you can do your own research and see and feel into what is the frequency and the note that naturally resonates more with your head, with your crown chakra, with your third eye, and experiment with that. So for example, we're going to be looking into the frequencies in correlation with the chakras, and this is like an experiment, this is an exploration that you can do yourself. So for example, in my case, I know that when I'm working on my lower chakras and my heart chakra, an instrument that I really enjoy playing because it really reminds me of the beat of my primordial nature, my wild nature, is the drum. So every time that I need to come back to the now, to come back to the heartbeat, to come back to the present moment and feel connected with the earth, I intentionally use the drum beat to actually like create those frequencies that are gonna bring me back to the present moment. Whereas if something that I am actively cultivating is maybe more connection with my intuition and my psychic gifts, I'm probably gonna be leaning into crystal bowls. And I have different crystal bowls. Each one of the crystal bowl has a specific note, therefore it has a different frequency. And probably the ones that are gonna be of a higher pitch, higher note, are gonna allow me to tune into these higher realms, right? So it's all about, weaving in all the research that I've been sharing with you, but also your own exploration and your own intuition. Because the beauty of sound healing is that there's no right or wrong. Yes, there's a lot of people, practitioners, that will be going into the science and using the logic of, okay, let's project this frequency because the natural resonant frequency of the brain is this one, so we're going to be applying that frequency there. That's perfect and beautiful and equally needed, right? But also really, for me, the magic of sound healing and healing with voice is also tapping into your intuition and also feeling intuitively into what instruments are you feeling called to share with others, or to play for yourself, or to connect with. Because it is very likely that if you are feeling the intuitive pull towards a specific instrument, there is a frequency that you're going to be finding there that is going to be bringing more harmony and peace in your body. So it's all about striking the balance and always listening what feels right and true to you. And now, of course, when talking about healing with sound and frequencies, the human voice, which is what we have been exploring in depth inside the calling, and of course, overtones or harmonic singer. So it is great, right, to have so many instruments and so many electronic generated music and and different tools in order to create healing effects in the human body. But the truth is that we have this powerful instrument that we have been tapping into, that we have been awakening, that we have been liberating in our own body, which is our voice, that has already the potential to create those healing effects, if not more, because the frequencies that you're emanating are already in natural resonance with your body, because they're coming from your body. Therefore, chances are that the healing impact that your own voice is going to be having is going to be way bigger than anything that can be created with electronics or with external instruments. So voice will always, always, always be the ultimate healing tool that we can use to restore the harmony in our physical body. So you can even use overtones to scan a body, like projecting the voice into a body to see like where there is stagnant energy. And we're going to be talking about this, right? But truly, overtone is like this laser. I like to think of it as a laser. So I want you to tap into this image of the overtone being this like sound laser through which you can scan someone's body, or maybe like a room, or maybe even like an idea or a scenario that you're imagining. You can use overtones to scan the frequency of whatever energetic or physical body that you are in front of, to actually see whether you feel the coherence, whether you feel intuitively there's something that doesn't quite feel right? Always trusting the channel, always trusting the intuition, and knowing that if you're feeling something, it is for a reason, right? And again, overtone is so powerful because it works directly with that numerical framework of ratios that we saw already on the Lambda matrix, right? Which is like a mathematical proportion that can be translated into frequencies of audible sound, right? So voice as a healing portal, that is the ultimate healing tool. And today I want to share with you another formula. So we saw the formula that told us and showed us the way on how to manifest with voice, which was visualization plus vocalization or sound equals manifestation. Now today we're going to be exploring another formula that has to do with how you can use your voice as a healing instrument. Warning, it is a very simple but so powerful formula. And your mind is gonna probably come at you and say, wait, what? Is it really that simple? This cannot be true. It's too simple to be that powerful. But we know by experience that so many times in this human experience, the simplest things are the most powerful ones. The only thing that we have to do is to lean in and trust that it can be that simple. Because most of the times what we consider as simple, we go through our own initiations and alchemies in order to like fully apply and integrate into our lives, right? It's like, be in the present moment. Oh yeah, that sounds so simple. We already knew that. Cool. But can you actually embody being in the present moment? You know, it's like, okay, let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the basics and realize how powerful that is, right? So again, so many times we are so disconnected from the essential that our ego mind is gonna come in and say, no, you need to do more. You need to know more. You need to learn more in order to be able to create healing into your own body. We love the ego mind, but we also know that, yeah, that era is done. We have remembered that we already have the keys to unlock all our potential and to tap into the healing natural powers of our own body. And this is what we are doing. This is what we do now. So, you know, coming back to that important key, right, that you have been committing to integrate and embody, which is owning the fact that you already are a full-blown divine channel and healing instrument by nature. You are already that instrument. Your voice is already that instrument. So let me just take a sip because it's a lot of talking right now for my voice. By the way, before I dive deep into the formula, if you ever struggle with soreness with your throat, totally recommend herbal infusions with a tiny bit of eucalyptus, very little, like a small leaf, thyme, and a little bit of, what's the name of is it calendula, the translation? Yeah, I think it's calendula. Manzanilla, calendula, yeah. So to recommend you to prepare these hot beverages whenever you are struggling with your voice. So the formula for healing with voice is the following one: vocalization or sound plus intention equals healing. That's it. Probably your mind is like, what? Really? Was it that? Like, okay. What? Yes, it is that powerful. It is that simple. Intention is everything. The frequency, the intention from your heart, from your mind, from your focus, that you infuse into what you are vocalizing, what you're expressing, holds the keys for you to bring about healing for yourself and for others. And now here's a picture of me. Was this like almost 2 years ago now? Or well, a year and a half ago. Whilst I lived in Gran Canaria, where I started to facilitate sound healing sessions. And I just wanted to bring my own example here, so you can also learn from my own experience, right? So as you know, I studied music for a very long time, for almost 14 years. All the theory, the musical language, how to create harmony, how to play incredible music sheets, how to play in an orchestra. I sang in choirs. I ticked all the boxes, right? But what happened is that came so much from the mind, so much from the logic, that I got completely disconnected from my heart, and I was not even able to improvise. I could not be put on the spot and either sing or play the flute without having a musical sheet in front of me. And that already was a testament of the disconnection, right, that existed between my mind and my heart and what I was doing and expressing with music. And that is what got me to separate myself from music as an area of study or as something that I wanted to pursue, because it really created so much suffering and anxiety in myself, in the way that I was approaching music. I was so hard on myself. I had incredible music teachers, but they were all very harsh, very you have to do this perfect, you have to hit the tone perfectly right at the right rhythm. It lacked the soul that I needed in order to flourish, right? And so I disconnected from music, as I said, as something that I would pursue, even though on my own I would always sing in the bathroom. My brother gifted me an ukulele and I would start playing with my sister. We would play every Christmas day with my family, with my brother and sisters. They're amazing musicians. So music has always been a big part of my life, but it was not until 2021 that somehow life started to put in front of me all the signs so that I could start leaning into sound healing. And at the very beginning, I remember it's so funny to remember this now. So it was with my ex-partner, my ex-husband, that I started to offer and facilitate these healing journeys, these sound healing journeys. So he already had some ancestral instruments that he played with, and I was really, really called to crystal bowls. And that was one of the first instruments dedicated to sound healing that I used. And I started to play with it myself, and there was this longing for, okay, I want another note. Cool. I would go a couple of maybe months later, and I would find another crystal bowl, and another crystal bowl would make my way to me in very magical and synchronistic ways. It was not something planned from the mind, but all of a sudden I started to like gather all these set of instruments that I just felt the desire to start playing with. And so we finally gathered a whole set with a gong, with a didgeridoo, several crystal bowls, a couple of drums, an ocean drum, different rattles, all the set. Of course, you never have enough because there's an infinity of incredible musical instruments that really can have a lot of like a big impact and healing impact in the body to create a beautiful sound journey. But we had enough to start doing the thing that I felt a call to start sharing. And so I remember the first ever sound healing session that we organized. I remember like how I was like freaking out. I'm just like laughing at it right now, just thinking about it. I needed to structure the whole thing. Like I just made my ex-husband sit down with me and we would just go through the whole list of the different stages of the sound journey that we would create. So my mind, my ego mind was so caught up in what it had to be and like what was the logic of, okay, we're gonna be starting with a particular element and like infusing sounds that remind us of the earth, and then we're gonna go into the water and we're gonna be doing that. And it's perfect and it's beautiful to use the structure to create these healing settings and feels. But at the same time, I totally recognized that there was this urge and this need for my mind to have it all controlled, because what I realized is that it was so edgy for me to open up to be a channel. I was like, but who am I when I open to be a channel? Who am I? Who am I when I'm just being the healing instrument for myself and for the people that will surrender to the energetic field that we're going to be creating, that will surrender to the experience? And I felt so much responsibility with that because I fully didn't trust my own channel. I fully didn't trust that only with my presence, that only with the power of the intention and whatever sounds that we were creating, that would already create an incredible experience. Because again, as I said, the intention is everything. The intention is everything. So it doesn't matter if you don't have the logical explanation of why you're using this instrument or the other, or why you're creating this sound or the other. The more you strengthen your channel to trust what is coming through you, and the more you learn to set the intention and always go with your heart open with the intention and trusting and trusting and trusting and being clear on the intention and always coming back to the heart and trusting again the channel and trusting your voice and trusting what you're feeling, the desire to start playing, and trusting that melody and trusting that rhythm, what wants to be expressed to you. The more that you trust, the bigger the impact will be for the people that have the luck to be there in your energetic field. And so it was it's very funny now to remember, right? How I started and how there was this urge to control and to understand what I was doing and how I was doing, forgetting that in the end, it was all about like me coming with pure intentions to create a safe space for people to just surrender, to connect with their hearts, to connect with their intuition, to embark on a journey of self-discovery. Like that was the intention. And that was already so anchored in my heart that, you know, whatever I did with my voice, whatever I did with the instruments that I had, it would always end up being an incredible experience because the intention was pure from the very beginning. And then the more that I practiced, the more that I facilitated more journeys, the least I like thought about even having a structure. So the more naturally it would come, the more I would trust what I was feeling, the intuitive call to share. And this only continues to grow and grow as I am on this journey as well myself, of liberating my own voice, of becoming this full-blown channel for myself and at service of the people that I am supporting. So of course, this is in constant evolution. It's a work in progress, but I really felt the desire to share this with you, just so you also see how these journeys can look like, how beautiful it is to just look back, even for myself, and realize, wow, I was trying to control it all and to understand it all, because that was what I was taught ultimately, right? That things had to come from this very logical space, without realizing that the magic, that the healing already happened by itself, just with the purest intentions and just by opening to be a channel. So I really hope that this story as well encourages you and inspires you to go out and also become that full-blown channel for whatever you're being called to do. Be it sound healing journey, be it a musical intervention, be it a channeling of light language, or be it just a channeling of messages that come through, whatever it is. Like, honestly, when the intention is set from your heart in connection with your truth, it's impossible that those vibrations that you're going to be emanating are not going to be healing for all the people that are lucky enough to be receiving that transmission. So of course, now if I was to deliver a sound healing session, I would definitely have nothing planned, and I would just approach the session with an open heart and with the intention to become a full-blown channel for whatever has to come through me for my highest service and for the highest service of the people that are going to be receiving the transmission and the vibrations. So now that we got this powerful key, this key formula to heal with sound and voice, which, remember, is sound plus intention equals healing, I will be diving a bit deeper into how we can use our voice to harmonize the body at all levels, at a physical, emotional, mental, energetical level. And for that, I'm going to be using the 7 chakra system and its correlations with particular frequencies, with particular notes and particular colors. Now, this is something that is already covered inside my masterclass on vocal toning. So probably you're already familiar with that if you have been practicing vocal toning in the way that I teach it, which is always in correlation with particular vowels and always in correlation with particular colors as well. So adding visualization, sound, the intention to create this, what I call vibrational surgery on your body or also on the body of another person. So this is a little scheme that I created where you have a summary of what I already dived deep into when explaining vocal toning. So here we have the 7 chakras with the different colors, with the different frequencies, looking at it with hearts, also in correlation with the musical notes that are attributed to each one of the energetic centers, the vowel that you can use when creating sound or vocal toning to go into this particular part of the body if you really want to do this super precise vibrational surgery, and also the name in Sanskrit as well and the name of each one of the chakras. So we're going to be quickly going through it so you can also refresh your memory and start getting familiar with this if you haven't practiced this just yet. So let's start with the root chakra, Muladhara. That correlates with the frequency of 396 hertz, and it is also linked with the A note, which in Spain would be the La. So the vowel that you could be using to really make this part of your body resonate is the U, always finding a lower pitch than the other one, which is also going to be a U, but with a higher pitch. We're going to be talking a little bit about what each one of these chakras have to do in the following slides, but here's just a sort of like scheme so you have it all summarized here whenever you want to come back to this and remember what are the vowels that you can be using to make this vocal practice even more precise for the purpose of healing and restoring the harmony in your body. Then we have the sacral chakra, which is correlated with the frequency of 417 hertz, which is the B note, C in Spanish, and the vowel that we would use to just go into this part of the body would be the U, at this time finding a higher pitch. So instead of U, we would go into U, or whatever tone that works for you. Remember that it's not about, when we practice vocal toning, it's not about the tone, it's just finding something that really feels comfortable and easy for your voice in the now moment. Then we have the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, which is correlated with the frequency of 528 hertz. And it is related with the note Si or Do in Spanish. And we would be using the vowel O, because that is the natural frequency that resonates with this part of the body. Then moving forward, we would have the heart chakra, the Anahata, which is correlated with the frequency of 639 hertz, or the note D or Re. And with vocal toning, we would use Ah, always like trying to open up the mouth, relaxing the jaw, creating space. Like remember the mirror that your jaw is to your pelvis as well, and the connection between the throat and the womb. So always like trying to make this an opportunity to release the muscles here, the jaw that holds a lot of tension, a lot of emotions as well, just like your pelvis and your womb. Then we would go into the throat chakra, which is related with the frequency of 741 hertz, the note E or Mi in Spanish, and the vowel that we would be using is E. Always E, like drawing a smile, almost like an E towards the E, but it's not quite the E yet, the E. So that would be He. Yeah, can feel a little bit weird, but it really helps when you draw the smile. And then we have the third eye chakra, Agna, which is the frequency of 852 hertz. The note is F or Fa, and the vowel that we would use that will resonate more naturally with these higher chakras is going to be the E. E. This time it is the E. Yeah, and we're going to find a lower pitch for the third eye, and then a higher pitch for the last chakra, which is the crown chakra, which is correlated with a frequency of 963 hertz, and it is related with the musical note of G or Sol. And here again it would be a E, like a higher pitched E. And of course I haven't talked about the colors here, but you can see the correlation with the colors. As you know, all the colors also have a frequency, and that is why we can correlate different parts of the body with different sounds, with different vowels, with different colors, with everything in the world. Because if everything is in harmony, everything is emanating a frequency, therefore there is a correlation that can happen between literally all things on planet Earth and in the universe. So when doing the vocal toning, remember that you can also bring the power of visualization, of visualizing that particular color, maybe taking over that part of the body, or expanding from that part of the body towards your energetic field or towards the rest of the body, right? You can play with your visualization, with your imagination, to put that intention, the power of intention, even stronger. Because yes, you can create with sound and intention healing, but if then you add the power of visualization, of using your mind's eye to create in your imagination that reality with, for example, visualizing the color, the healing impact is still is even bigger. So, the more tools you feel called to add on to this practice, also the more powerful that it will be. So invitation here to dive deep into vocal toning. If you haven't done it yet, it's an incredible practice to do on a daily basis, even if it's just for 5-10 minutes every day. Really helps you unlock your voice, restore your body. If you do it in the morning, you really set the tone for a super high frequency day. I've definitely been practicing it now as I am going through this soreness in my throat right now due to my own challenges of using my voice in my personal life, which again, this is my medicine for a reason. I love to share it vulnerably because it's like that. So I've been using it intentionally, for example, amplifying or spending more time doing the which resonates with the throat, and And yeah, like doing it like very gently, but sending that intention, that healing intention to this part of the body every time that I am emanating sounds. And it has really helped me as well, like stay anchored in my power to not be a victim of what my body's creating, right? Rather the opposite. Seeing, okay, why is my body reacting like this? Why is it creating this disease? And what is it there for me to see? No? So the beauty of vocal toning and working with sound and healing is that you don't need to have the disease materialize into the physical body before you realize that there's any stagnant energy in your body. So the more that you do the vocal toning as well, the more that you practice listening to your body, to your energetic body as well, and you can start realizing, okay, where is there stagnant energy, where my voice is struggling to come out. For example, if you're struggling to, let's say, for example, in the lower chakras, to produce the ooh sound and your voice sounds weird, or you are really having a lot of issues in holding your breath and creating the voice, the steady voice in that part of the body, maybe there's something that needs to be liberated there. So you can spend a little bit more of time there, or like putting a stronger intention to liberate whatever with your voice there. And while you do the vocal toning, you can also liberate that stagnant energy before it is physicalized into a disease, right? And again, another thing that you can add to this practice is movement. So the intention as well of using your hands and place them on these particular parts of your body whenever you are sending the healing vibrations to the different organs or energetic centers, right? So that also is like another layer that if you lean into, the impact is even going to be bigger. Because remember that here ultimately how we are extracting those frequencies from the root chakra, for example, is because we have been, a lot of scientists, a lot of researchers have been exploring what is the natural frequency of that part of the body, of the organs. And there has been like this study going on and really understanding, okay, the natural frequency, overall natural frequency of this part of the body is this one. So we're gonna attribute this frequency to this part of the body. But again, like this is not something that it's like universal truth. So there could be a lot of nuances, and there's so many researchers doing so much incredible work that it's very likely that you will find slightly different frequencies for different parts of the body, right? And it's not about looking into what is right or wrong, but rather feeling into what feels like truth to you and just applying that into your practice yourself. Yeah, so always discerning, always discerning. In my case, I share this because it really resonates with how I've been using the power of voice to heal. And I really hope that, yeah, this could also resonate with you. But if it doesn't, there's many other people, incredible researchers and sound therapists sharing a lot of resources and a lot of different frameworks as well to work with the chakras and the energetic bodies. So we're gonna do a little run through the different chakras just to remember a little bit, like, okay, we talked about the frequencies, the colors, we talked about the vowels, but what is every single chakra about? And I feel like this is also going to be very beneficial for you, so you can dive deeper into using the voice first for yourself, but also to apply with others. If you're a healer, if you're also supporting other people connect with themselves and liberate themselves from whatever is not in alignment. So the root chakra. So the root chakra is located at the base spine, and it is also related with the anus and the adrenal glands. And it is linked with matters surrounding survival and being anchored and safe in the body and connected to earth. So some mantras that can use and that can help you just tune into what energy is the one for the root chakra is: I am grounded, I am safe, I am centered, I feel secure, I trust life, all is well. So again, these mantras, these affirmations also hold a frequency, that have the power to also impact beneficially that part of your body. So again, using creatively everything that resonates with you. be it the power of words, chanting, specific sounds, specific sound frequencies that you find on YouTube, specific instruments, specific crystals. They also hold a specific frequency. It's endless possibilities, and it is up to you to feel into what feels right for you and what is it that you want to bring into your own practice to share this with yourself and with others. Then we have the sacral chakra, excuse me, which is located about 3 to 5 centimeters below the belly button, and it's related with the sexual organs and matters surrounding reproduction. It is linked with matters surrounding, again, reproduction, but also sexuality, creativity. It is where the life force energy resides. So if someone is really struggling with creativity, with connecting with their sensuality or sexuality, they don't feel this like fire, this passion for life anymore, probably there's something stuck in this part of the body. And some affirmations that could work as well in tune with everything that we have been talking about are: I am creative, it's safe to express my sexuality, I am comfortable in my body, I am in touch with my feelings, I'm not afraid of feeling as well, it is my right to be joyful and find pleasure. The solar plexus is located, oh, that's wrong. Ew, that's all right. Okay, so the solar plexus is located right at the thymus gland, and it has to do with your willpower, with your personal power. It has to do with your courage to shine your light, to say your truth, right? To just show up, take up space and say, this is who I am, this is what I'm here to do, and I'm just gonna shine my light unapologetically. So it's like this, also this feeling of, again, courage and self-acceptance, being at peace with who you truly are and how you are in the world. And some affirmations that can work very positively with this part of your body are: I love and accept myself, I am strong and courageous, I honor myself, I am authentic, I am worthy, I am at peace with myself. And the color, of course, we see it throughout. This is the yellow, which can really help us as well connect with this courageous energy, very connected with the sun as well, the solar plexus. And then we have the heart chakra, which is of course located in the center of the chest, at the height of a little bit up to from the thymus gland, behind the sternum. And in Sanskrit, it is called Anahata, which means infinite, unhurt, or boundless. And it is linked with the ability to give and receive with acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, and love. And some affirmations that can help you also liberate yourself from any stagnant energy there or with someone: I am open to give and receive love, I love and accept myself, I forgive myself and others, I am fully open to love, my heart is full of love. So it's all about tapping into unconditional love, receiving and giving love. The throat chakra, located in the center of the neck, at the height of the thyroid gland, which regulates processing of energy in the body through temperature, growth, and metabolism. It is also related with the mouth, jaws, tongue, pharynx, palate, shoulders, and neck, as we saw already in Module 1 on the physics and the anatomy of voice. This chakra is linked with matters surrounding expression, communication, freedom, and honesty, which is literally the initiation that I went through recently. I was not able... How funny that I start coughing now. So I really struggle speaking my desires with loved ones. Therefore, I ended up somatizing this. Just kind of funny right now talking about it. And some affirmations: it's safe to express my needs, I love to use my voice and express myself, I speak my truth freely, I trust others, I am honest about who I am. And then going to the last two chakras, we have the third eye located in the center of your head, parallel to the middle of your eyebrows, at the height of your pineal gland. and it is linked with matter surrounding clarity, concentration, imagination, intuition, spiritual perception, and universal connection, with the capacity to see the unseen. I trust my intuition, I follow my inner guidance, my spiritual vision is clear, I embody my spiritual gifts, I am connected to the divine, I am spiritually awake. Some of the affirmations that can be supportive to activate and liberate this chakra. And the crown chakra is the last one. Located at the top of the head or slightly above. It's like a crown, like a radiating crown that is out of your body. And its location means it is closely linked to the brain and the nervous system. And it is also very linked to the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the hypothalamus. And it's linked with matters surrounding devotion, inspiration, prophetic thought, mystical connection, and transcendental ideas. And some affirmations to work with this chakra: I am divine, I am a divine being, everything is connected, I am connected to the universe, all is well, I am at peace. So again, as you can see, each one of the chakras have a particular frequency, no? The energy, the color, the sound of the affirmations, right? Where it's located in your body. So the more that you attune to these frequencies that each one of the chakras, that the different musical notes have, the more you will be in training your brain to encode those brain waves in the way you live and operate. So it's like you entrain your own brain to vibrate at those particular frequencies, at the highest frequencies of each one of these parts of your body. And that just brings about the harmony, correlation between the organs, the cells, like all of it is in coherence. So again, we see here the color light is spectrum mapped out with the different notes, mapped out with the different chakras, and mapped out with the different frequencies. And then we can also see the frequencies in the waves, right? And we are very familiar with that because we've talked a lot about the overtone singing and the division that it creates through the waves, like how the harmonics create waves that end up creating this beautiful pattern that it is ultimately also speaking the language of creation, because the mathematical ratios that exist are the same as in everywhere. So it's all correlated and beautiful, and so important as well when we're talking about how to heal with voice, because ultimately we're talking about attuning to these frequencies, right? Bringing back the balance in the body, like using things, notes, visualization, affirmations that can help us restore the harmonious like way of operating of the body, the natural resonance of the body. This is just one of the images that I put on the metaphysics of voice, where you can see how from a fundamental note there's like these different frequencies, harmonics that start to be created. And again, as I said, not only we can talk about specific vowels, specific frequencies, musical notes, colors, we can talk about also crystals. Like I always have my Andara crystals here with me, which help me attune with my highest frequency, especially on the higher chakras because of their vibrations. But you can also work with flowers. Like each flower has specific frequency. For example, it is said that the rose flower is one of like that holds that the highest frequency, but then each one of them are equally needed and beautiful for the whole of nature to function, right? So it's not about seeking the highest frequency flower, but to work intentionally with specific flowers and plants that can help you with whatever that you are going through, or however you want to support others as well. So again, here's some images on how you can also work with frequencies to restore balance in the human body, be it with instruments like gongs and Tibetan singing bowls, but also with crystals, and also with like sacred geometry. Like each sacred geometry also holds a frequency. because it is an expression, right, of specific patterns. So those also bring specific vibration that can also help you restore the physical body. So for example, there's a lot of like Reiki practices, like Reiki or Shui, where you work with specific symbols, and these symbols help you as well restore the harmony and the balance in your body. So infinite possibilities that, you know, it is your only job to just tune into and see what resonates with you and what you feel excited to explore deeper and farther into this journey. And then pairing it with the voice, that is just ultimate healing. So just to start wrapping this up, when we say that we are healthy, we say that we are in sound health, because the organs, the tissues, the bones are in their natural frequency and vibrational field. So here, invitation, I've already talked about this analogy, but I love to bring it up every time. Invitation to see your body as an instrument where all the strings need to be in tune in order to create the most beautiful and harmonious frequency. Here we can see, I love to do this as well myself, with the Tibetan bowl. If you place the water inside, you're going to be seeing how certain patterns are going to be created. And this is what we are ultimately doing when we are working with voice and sound to heal. We are making the cells in our bodies, the water in our bodies vibrate so they can liberate whatever stagnant energy, and you know, the energy can flow naturally with ease once again in the body through all the centers, like recirculating the energy, right? There's always this recirculation of the energy that happens, and when there is no blockages in any part of their body, the energy just moves more easily, and that provides ultimate health. But when there's like some stagnant energy in a part of the body, like myself, I'm experiencing in my throat right now, it's like the energy just feels the resistance, and there's like something that still needs to be liberated there, right? So we use sound and we use the voice to make those cells vibrate, to liberate the memory, to liberate the stagnancy, to liberate the excess of energy that has been just held there for whatever reason. So seeing our bodies as a divine instrument is a great tool to work with voice and healing. And seeing the different energetic parts of the body, the chakras, as different strings, that once they do not sound at its natural frequency, they could be showing some sort of blockage. This is resistance, stagnancy. So we want to first of all tap into this vision of the body desiring to be in tune. And this is why we all end up in this healing journey, to just learn the practices, the mindset, the tools that can help us restore this balance and to become our most harmonious and authentic expression of our soul, ultimately. So we're almost ending here. And I wanted to give you just a little framework which you can also work with whenever using sound with a healing intention. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about how to apply sound healing to the self, and then I'm going to be talking about how to apply sound healing to the other. So when you are setting the intention to do a sound healing practice with yourself, for example, myself with the throat. So first of all, you want to feel into what part of your body is feeling stagnant. In my case, it's very clear, it is my throat. Secondly, you can either intuitively feel into what part of the body needs healing, which at the end of the day is just release. We're talking about just something that needs to be moved, that needs to be liberated so the energy can flow. Or you can also use your hands to scan your body. So here, you could either like already know what is it that you want to work towards, or maybe there's like more of an intuitive feeling of, okay, I feel like there's something, but I still do not know exactly what it is. And maybe it is through just connecting with yourself for a second that you can identify exactly. In my case, it's very clear, but maybe in your case, you just feel some type of way and you don't know exactly what it is. In that case, what you could do is use your hands, which are a mirror to your heart, and your hands have the ability to feel into the energy. And something that I've been practicing myself when like practicing with energetic healing is to develop a sensibility, let's say the capacity to feel into my hands. And that is something that we all have the capacity to do. So something that really helps me as well is just to scan my own body whenever I'm like, okay, there's something, but I don't know where exactly. Like scanning my body, maybe I'm just gonna place my hands on top of different parts and I'm gonna start like perceiving what is the temperature like. And it's very likely that where there is an excess of energy, you're gonna be finding like more warmth, right? In the same way that when you have a temperature, your head is gonna be boiling. Whenever there's like stagnant energy in a specific part of your body, there's always gonna be this warmth that you can perceive. So you can either like touch yourself or you can even perceive it, just like developing the sensibility, just like some, like maybe just like one palm, you can also feel into it, yeah. So you can use your hands to scan your body and identify where is this density that you can feel. But also, as we have already explored, you can also practice vocal toning through the 7 chakras. And then you're gonna be intuitively, or not that intuitively, and maybe it's very obvious, you're gonna be seeing where there is more resistance when the voice is coming out. And probably that is gonna be the part that will need a little bit more of love, a little bit more of liberation. So once you have identified, if you feel the desire to identify, because maybe you just wanna go into a sound healing practice and there's no particular thing you want to do, you just want to set the intention to restore the harmony in the whole of your body, so you can vibrate at a higher frequency, or so you can shift your mood or your mental state, whatever it is. And that's completely fine. You do not need to go into a specific part of the body necessarily, yeah. So what we want to do there is to connect with our heart, always like creating sacred space before we start tapping into the voice, and putting that intention to become a channel, to become an instrument for healing, for light, for love, for peace, for consciousness. And with that intention, opening that sacred space for healing to occur. And from there, you can start applying sound or voice onto that specific part of the body, or just like scanning your body through like using different sounds, whatever you're intuitively being called to do, or maybe like even using instruments, right? But always like setting that intention to create healing, to just like cultivate more love, to anchor more love in every cell of the body. And visualizing how the vibrations of your voice, in this case, or if you're using an instrument, really like putting that intention that the vibrations are restoring all balance and harmony in the body. And when applying sound healing to the other, you can follow the same logic, the same framework. First of all, you want to ask the person or feel into what part of the person's body is feeling stagnant. Maybe they already have a very clear idea. Maybe they think that it's going to be this, but actually there's a blockage somewhere else that they are not quite seeing just yet, because it is very subconscious. But you can either, again, intuitively feel into what part of the body needs healing, liberation, or release by using your hands. So if you're practicing this with someone else, unless you have a lot of intimacy and a lot of like connection with this person, you may want to just use like your hands always with some distance, right? Unless you have the consent of the person to actually apply touch, right? But again, you're gonna be like scanning the body. You're gonna be scanning the body with the intention to just like perceive where there is a stagnant energy in the body. Or you can also use vocal toning also to project your voice into the other person's voice and to see where your voice is. Maybe like doing a little bit of like wavering a little bit. So if you scan someone's body with your own voice, you could be doing with a vocal toning, like using the different vowels or just using one vowel, and intentionally scanning the body of the person. I swear that when you come into the part of the body of the person that is desiring to be released, like that desires to release some of this stagnant energy, you are gonna perceive it. Your voice is gonna change. You are gonna perceive that. So whenever you've done like this little like touching, checking, no, scan of the other person that you're gonna be offering your voice or your sound healing session to. Again, you want to connect with your heart. You also want to create a safe space for the person to connect with hers or his. And you want to set the intention to open up, to be a channel, to become an instrument for healing, for love, for peace, opening the sacred space for healing to occur. And once that's done and the person is, feeling fully safe and a little bit more tapped into the heart, into the body, surrendering to the experience to receive the healing vibrations, you would start applying sound or voice onto that specific part of the body, or just generally, maybe if you are maybe offering a sound healing journey or an immersion or a concert, whatever is it that you are offering to the other. And again, always with the intention to bring healing, to bring harmony, to bring consciousness, love, light, and visualizing how the vibrations are traveling through space into the person's body and doing the work for you. You don't have to look at it logically or understand it, but really trusting that what you're doing, what you are being a channel for, is already doing the work for you. And of course, in whatever case, you wanna, after the practice, close a sacred space. So whenever you intuitively feel you're done with a sound healing practice, always bringing your hands into your heart and repeating, may this practice reach and benefit all beings on planet Earth and beyond without any exception, giving thanks to Source, to Great Spirit, to God, to your body, and setting the intention to close the space with a lot of love and presence. And if you have been offering your own voice or sound healing to yourself, you might want to create some space, a couple of minutes to just observe what feels different in the body and the mind, to feel into the sensations, maybe journal about it. And if you're practicing this with another person, maybe asking them, what is the difference that you perceive that you can feel into the body? Rather than asking, how are you feeling? Because this way you avoid the person just using their logical mind into observing and analyzing what they're feeling right now. So inviting them to just like, okay, what is the difference that you can feel now? From my experience, that really creates like a more open space for the person to just talk from their heart and not from their mind, over analyzing what happened when receiving the sound. So my love, just wanted to put this formula once again, just to close today's module. So I hope that this was a beautiful and impactful introduction for you to start using sound and voice as a medicine, as a healing tool for yourself, and also to share with others. Once again, it is all about the intention. It is all about the intention with which you infuse the vibrations that you are emanating, the sounds that you're creating, the songs that you're singing, the words that you're speaking. It is all about the intention. Healing only occurs when there is a pure intention coming from your heart in what you are speaking into existence. And I really hope that everything that you have received, everything that you have remembered in this transmission can help you take to the next level your own natural innate ability to heal with the divine instrument that you are. And I really hope that you can also share your beautiful voice with others who are also on this journey to awaken to their own voice, and to remember the power that they already hold in their own bodies as well. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for tuning in for Module 5 on healing with sound and voice. And with that, we made it to the end of this module. I cannot wait to hear from you how all this landed? What were the breakthroughs? What is it that you remembered? What is it that you already knew? What is it that you have already been practicing? Is there something new that has been brought onto the table for you? Is this something surprising? Whatever it is, feel free to bring it to the group and desiring to read you or hear your takeaways. Sending you so much love, and thank you as well for bearing with me as I am also in this journey of liberating my own voice so I can speak my truth even more powerfully in my life as well. So special that it just all aligned for me to show up and talk about this, especially in this particular moment. So I really hope as well that you take this as a sign, once again, that you do not have to have healed it all in order to share your gifts and your voice with the world, as long as it's coming from here with integrity and that you're embodying what you're teaching. It can only produce healing benefits for all the people around you. I love you so much, and let's go. Let's finish this journey with our hearts open, our throats open, and let's blow it up. Let's take our voice, our expression to the next level. I love you so much.